Hey guys, Derek here again. Today I wanted to kind of make this video about kind of shedding light from some personal experience from getting out of the military. Um, it's kind of, I'm hoping like the unique experience and perspective helps other veterans maybe to kind of question what they're trying to do or how to navigate the kind of systems around them or just kind of reintegrate into society outside of the service. Um, so what I experienced, I mean, I got out in 2018. It's been 6 years, and little do you know that kind of once you kind of go through boot camp from a service member's perspective, you're kind of just permanently re-hardwired to that state for your mind. And then from there, your military experience starts. And what you're exposed in your military experience kind of carries on with you well until you get out, whether you do 20 and retire, or you're 4, or you did 2 years and you got injured and your med separated out. From boot camp on, you're a veteran, um, and your unique experience from your time in service will continue to carry on with you. So if you're getting about to get out, think about that. Like, think about the next 5 to 10 years, things that you may be struggling with now, they'll come back. And so it's good to be asking questions to try to take care of yourself early. I definitely didn't. I was a guy that kind of underplayed my issues. For me, um, I was a combat veteran without considering myself a combat veteran. Um, like, I was experiencing when I got out and got back home, I was experiencing standard issues with PTSD, and I thought they were just kind of mild, and I underplayed them. I wasn't sleeping at night. Um, I would kind of have nightmares every once in a while. Just average restlessness and irritability around people, and just thinking that this is normal everyday American life is boring. It needs to be more chaotic and needs to just be fucking broken all the time. And it's just like, this isn't real life. People are spoiled and just angry at things. And you're not realizing that nothing is wrong with the outside perspective of what you're seeing. It's all in my head and in my frame of reference. And no amount of separation from going from busy military up tempo and combat to safety, security, and regular life can help that. You have to look at your head and look and ask for help if you're really struggling. So I didn't think I had PTSD issues, but according to my heart, I was. And so I didn't ask for help. I was quietly struggling, trying to fly under the radar, and drinking a lot, being quiet about it. And after maybe 5 or 6 months after being separated out, I had my first heart arrhythmia issue, and it hospitalized me. My heart was not in sync with itself, and it was triggered from drinking. And my doctors had to have that hard conversation with me, and I got defensive about it, and then I ignored it, and then it proceeded to trigger two more instances in the following 2 years. So my heart was broken. And so that kind of spurred on needing to get sober. And I've been 6 years sober today. I think somewhere around February 2020, I think I was my last drop of alcohol. But where was I going with that? So if you're active duty person and you have your experience, you like when you get out, if you do that, whether you retire, right? I've heard plenty of stories where even the retired guys have issues. They get so stinking excited about retiring. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna go boating, and I'm just gonna go fishing for like 10 months, and then everything's gonna be sugars and rainbow, and then they start unraveling. Some happens medically. I don't know what it is about it, but the military's up tempo in the life seems to trigger these odd, like, socio emotional, physiological things in us when we get out, and without like seeking outside help, it just kind of goes unnoticed. So that's a super important message I want to get across. It's just like, no matter what your experience was in the military, it's okay to like go to the VA, start asking for medical help. That would be the first thing. Don't sit on it like I did and have a heart attack and then need to sign up for insurance while you're having a heart attack. Don't do that. Sign up early. Most vets get medical coverage through retirement, but if you're med sept, you're applicable. You just gotta ask questions. I'm not an expert on it, but if you just do 4, you are also applicable to utilize the VA. I don't see enough young people there, so people are probably underutilizing it for themselves. That resource is there. You don't have to be the person that got blown up or shot at to seek care from the VA. And so that was something I struggled with for a long time. What else did I want to talk about? These silly scripts, they all look great on paper, and then I start talking and I start deviating away. So let me see what I got written down. Talked about that. Oh. Why did I... One thing when you're... It's pretty common for veterans. I've seen some. Well, I mean, not all of them. The vocal ones, the loudest ones, they got it down pat. The ones that got blown up, shot at, the near miss or something like that, they'll scream from the mountaintops that they're fucked up. It's the guys like me, where I worked as a kind of it's called embark security. Was my first deployment to the Middle East. I was deployed and I stationed in Bahrain from 2012 to 2015. I did 2 years, 4 months there, spending probably somewhere around 2 years operationally on the water. So I spent a lot of time on watch, in the Persian Gulf, Gulf of Aden, Gulf of Oman, Red Sea, through the Suez Canal, in around Ethiopia, Somalia, Oman, plenty of times around Iran, Iraq, those areas of the water. So I've seen my fair share of what, even during, Obama era presidential time, we were still very, very active as a military dealing with Iranian threats. I've seen my fair share of, it's called a Iranian FIAC. It's Fast Intercoastal Attack Craft. So it's crew serve weapon speedboat with a 50 cal on it, mounted on it. So these guys would come up in troves of five small vessels and just circle and mess with American logistics supply ships and American oil tankers and stuff like that, or just all through the shipping lanes. They just thought because they were so close to Iran in the Straits of Hormuz, they would just do whatever they wanted to at the time. I don't know anything about their geopolitical operation, but that's kind of how they behaved. They were the kid and just teasing and bothering everyone back in that time, and they're still doing that today. So I've had plenty of times dealing with those guys, and because it's a boat and you never really have that interaction with a human. And you've seen some of these boats have manned crew serve weapons, but for whatever reason, anytime you dealt with them, they would just kind of pivot and turn away and surveil you and just kind of act weird. And you had all your directives were to kind of de-escalate the situation as much as possible. So all that stress of those instances just compiling over 2 years, I never deemed that as combat. Because the guys that I hang around today are like, they got stories going through convoys in the mountains, doing minesweeper operations and getting blown up by roadside IEDs and stuff like that. So to not play the game of one-upper, in my head, those guys one-upped me. And I didn't realize I was having my own experiential post-traumatic stress from the embark security detail I was worked at for 2 years and stuff like that. So that was in there. Those stressors, those triggers, that experience never went away. It still lives in me today, and it's something I have to kind of regularly kind of check in on mental health wise to make sure, like, hey, are you doing okay? You taking care of yourself? You got a family? They rely on you. So you should be asking hard questions of yourself for your own medical care. So yeah, the main message I wanted to get across today was, no matter what you may have chosen to do in the military operationally, there are things you've experienced, there are pressures you've experienced and seen that if you get out, you retire, you separate, you move to the dream cush life in the mountains of the Pacific or the beach of San Diego or Florida, wherever you have, your experience is valuable, and you should definitely check in with yourself to make sure you're okay. Ask questions of people that have gone through the experience, the people that have separated before you. It's not really, there are people to help, but they're hard to find at the exact same time. So that's a hard thing to kind of navigate for yourself if you're going. Like I said, I've met a couple people super excited to retire, and within 6 months, I was like, how you doing? How you enjoying your cush life? They're like, oh man, me and my wife have been fighting. We're struggling a little bit. And I was like, and I'm kind of smiling just because I like the life struggle to hear from it, but I'm being supportive of it, and I'm just learning and observing from the outside. It's just like, for whatever reason, once reality checks in, for whatever reason, the mind unravels itself, because as a veteran, as a military member, The best analogy I've ever heard is, particularly for combat, like trained MOS people, you're reverse wired. And that's the best way. So you have normal cush, regular civilian life with safety, security, protect me side. And on the opposite side, you have a mind that's geared for combat and high stress, first responder-esque directives, where you're good at not freezing and adapting and doing some kind of direct combat action under high stress environments. And that was what I was trained in. I was going up for a tactical actions, not a tactical action, an anti-terrorism tactical watch officer position, so I can have, weapons release authority in specific situations and things like that. So my mind was calibrated to make these tactical and strategic decisions. And when I was separated out of it, there was just a flood of just, here you are perfectly adapted to this side, and now you're just faced with coming over here, and you realize you're not calibrated to be re-in-synced with these people. Right? Nothing that you can't say you can sync up and be okay, but it's, your mind is not the same. And so that's where you need to check in. That's the underlying story. Ask for help. Use your VA benefits. They're there. It may be hard, and I'll talk about how to navigate that world down the line. But that was the key message I want to get across today. So if you made it to this point in the video, thanks for following along. This is my I love you guys sign. I know ASL. My daughter is teaching me ASL. She's 3. She's a master finger speller. Not really, but yeah, we use signs in our family. So later, guys. Bye.